Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittney. This is the Brittney Reacts show. And on this show we talk all things movies and entertainment. Today we are actually going over the Thunderbolts. I just saw the new Marvel movie this past weekend, so we're going to go over the box office, see how the movie's doing, but we're also going to talk about the movie itself. I'm going to review it, give you my thoughts and opinions. It will be a sort of spoiler review, so make sure if you care about spoilers, you might want to go see it first, then come back. But yeah, we're going to mostly just talk about Thunderbolts today, a little bit of Sinners box office, just to update you guys on that, but that's pretty much it. I know this is not my usual time that I do live streams. So it doesn't seem like a lot of people are here. So let's just, honestly, I'm just going to go straight into the review. Or, not the review. I'm going to do the box office first. Wrong channel. No. What happened? Hello. Hi, Blueberry Muffin. Hi, Madonna's Plastic Surgery. Hi, Naomi. Hi, Taskmaster Lover. Oof. Wrong name for this movie. Hi, Gita Viper. Hi, Rodney Dollar. Hi, DuBois. Hi, Natanya. Thank you to all of you who is here. I'm really, really happy. And also, happy May the 4th to all who celebrate. I know I have some Star Wars fans in my audience, so hello. But yes, like I said, in case you just missed my little spiel in the beginning, we're going to do mostly Thunderbolts today. We're going to talk about the box office, and then we're going to talk about the movie itself. So we're not going to do a ton of like other news. It's mostly just going to be Thunderbolts today. So just wanted to let you guys know that's what's on the agenda today. So let's go to the box office news. Before we get into the Thunderbolts, I also wanted to update you guys on Sinners, because I also saw Sinners this weekend, and Sinners was so good. I think it's actually better the second time. I had a friend who hadn't seen it, who wanted to see it, so I saw it with her, and she loved it. I loved it again. I think I loved it even more. It seems like audiences are loving this film. It only has a 22% drop, which is crazy. If you guys remember, it had a crazy small drop last week too. It was only like 6%, I think. So it means audiences are really enjoying it. Word of mouth is super strong. The film is quickly rising to become one of the top 10 highest grossing R-rated movies ever domestically. So yeah, pretty great for Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler. I think this is huge for them. I think they're going to get a lot out of this, or at least I hope they do. I think that this movie is definitely going to be a favorite at the awards during the awards season. So I'm really, really looking forward to just seeing how well this movie does during Oscar season, because I feel like this is probably going to get a lot of awards, or at least it should. If this gets snubbed, I think that the Academy will like seriously seem like not just out of touch, but I think deeply just like they have something stick up their butt about genre, I guess. Like, I would just say it would have to be because there's vampires in it. And, you know, for the most part, the Academy really just does not like to award films like that. Because I feel like the film is really, really good. Everyone agrees it's really, really good. So I'm hoping that it gets the awards love it deserves. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. If it doesn't, I think that would just be ridiculous. How are they going to love a movie like freaking Emilia Perez but not award this? That would just be insane to me. Yeah, but anyway, oh, Naomi, you've seen it 4 times? That's awesome. That's really awesome. I've seen it twice now. Yeah, it was really good. So anyway, moving on from Sinners, I just wanted to update you guys on that. Let's talk about Thunderbolts. So Thunderbolts earned $76 million in its domestic box office opening weekend. The budget was $180 million. So this is higher than Eternals and Shang-Chi. So this is like a mixed bag kind of result, in my opinion. It's mixed because I think it could have been a lot worse. I think had the reviews not been as good as they are, I think that it would have been worse. In fact, I was honestly wondering if this was going to like enter the Marvels territory as far as like how badly it was going to do. And I was basing that mostly on the fact that this cast is not very well known. Again, the friend that I went to see Sinners with this weekend, I told her that I actually enjoyed Thunderbolts, and she still didn't want to see this movie because she was like, I don't care about these characters, I don't know who they are. And this is someone who used to like Marvel and used to watch their movies. So I just felt like, I just thought that this movie had a lot going against it, just being full of a bunch of like C-list characters essentially. So I'm surprised that it did as well as it did. I think the only reason it even got to the $76 million number is A, because of the good reviews, and B, just the strength of Marvel's name alone. I think this is proof that Marvel can still sell tickets because, I mean, that's what's selling this movie is the Marvel brand. These characters, other than maybe Bucky, are not like well-known characters to anyone who doesn't read comic books. So I would say this is definitely proving that there is some interest left in Marvel as a brand. It's not like totally damaged beyond repair like Star Wars. This is telling me that there's still some gas left in the tank. That maybe, just maybe, if Marvel course corrects now and like consistently makes movies as good as this or better, then maybe they can get their audience back. That's what this number is telling me. It's not amazing because it's still pretty low. It's still like among the lower openings for a Marvel movie. It's less than what Captain America 4 made, and that ended up being a big flop. So it's not great, to be honest, but it also could have been a lot worse. So I think that Marvel, we'll see how it holds week to week, but I think maybe Marvel can, like, I don't know, maybe not panic. Although from what I'm seeing, I'm seeing a lot of like comments from Kevin Feige coming up in the press and whatnot. Maybe they are panicking because like this still isn't like, you know, an over $100 million opening or whatever. Maybe that's what they were hoping for. I don't know. But I feel like for a bunch of C-list characters, I feel like this was honestly the best that they could hope for. A movie full of no-name characters, other than maybe Bucky, that is like coming out during Marvel's hate train era. Like 76 million is actually pretty great for all of those reasons. Although at the same time that I'm saying that, where is the post? So just to put this into perspective, yes, 76 million is much better than I was expecting, but this movie still has a pretty high break-even point. It should be, I don't know if this is like fully official, but I know Rob, he's like deep in the industry, deep into comic books, so I trust him on this. He says that 600 million is the number to break even for this movie, and I can't see Thunderbolts getting even close to that. So it's still possible, even with this decent opening and with good word of mouth, this movie could still technically not make money in theaters. And I think that will largely be due to just the MCU in general, like, not having a ton of interest in it. I think this movie is definitely paying for the sins of Captain America. It's paying for the sins of the Marvels. It's paying for the sins of Quantumania and all the other terrible Marvel movies we've been getting lately. Because I definitely think this movie, as you'll see in my review, is better than those. So it should do better than those, but I don't think it will, just because, again, it's full of a lot of not very famous characters, and just general interest in the MCU is pretty low right now. So yeah, this is kind of a mixed result, as I said. It opened with 162 million worldwide. You would think for any normal like movie that would be an amazing opening, but for Marvel, like Marvel used to open 162 million domestically, not worldwide. Like they're used to like opening in that territory just domestically. So the fact that they're going with worldwide numbers, and I'm noticing that Discussing Film really likes to protect Marvel, because whenever a movie comes out from them now, they only report the worldwide number. They don't do the domestic number. I have to find the domestic number elsewhere. So that's interesting that Discussing Film is doing that. But anyway, so yeah, the worldwide number, that used to be what Marvel movies got like domestically. So that just shows you how much the brand really has eroded. But if they can keep making movies that people actually like, because this has an A- cinema score, which means that people who did see this movie actually did like it, then maybe they can get people back. So it's not a great result, but it's not a terrible one, and I think it shows that there's hope for the future. So that's how I'm interpreting Thunderbolts opening weekend. But what do you guys think? Do you think this number is bigger than you expected or lower than you expected? What are your thoughts here? Um, Du Bois says, I think Marvel really needs to accept the fact that even if they still have good films occasionally, they probably will never recapture the level of phenomenon that it was during the Infinity Saga. Yeah, I think the only way I can see Marvel recapturing the phenomenon of the Infinity Saga is if like the next Avengers movies are so freaking good that they get everyone hyped again and lead us somewhere. So like maybe they like leave off um in a way that gives us a direct path of what's next. Because I think one of the things that Endgame did not well, even though I love Endgame as a movie, but I think like business wise, I think something that Endgame did wrong was that it felt too final. It felt like a closing. It felt like a finale. So anyone who was looking for a reason to jump off the Marvel train, Endgame gave them one. So if Secret Wars doesn't do that, if they like actually leave it to like there's a path afterwards and like we can clearly see where the story's going to go after that, I think maybe they can get some interest back and like some of that hype back, but I think it's going to take both Doomsday and Secret Wars doing extremely well to do that. Honestly, I don't think that's a guarantee. Both because the Russos are directing and they're kind of spotty with their track record, and also just because there's not nearly as much hype going into these films as there were for Infinity War and Endgame. So we'll see how those Avengers movies goes, but I feel like if Marvel has any hope of getting that hype back, it starts with those films. Cheetah Viper says, with the marketing all over the place, I'm amazed it's made money from anyone besides people like Brittney who do reviews. Yeah, I mean, like I said, 76 is like more than I honestly expected. So that just shows you the strength of Marvel's name. Truly. The fact that they could even get that high with a bunch of like no-name characters essentially. Oh, Taskmaster lover. Yeah, I'm not surprised you didn't like what they did with Taskmaster. I'm not surprised. Just based on your name. Astronomy says, seems like it could have been a lot higher if Marvel had a better track record over the past year. Yep, exactly as I said. I think this movie's paying for the sins of all the past crap that they've been giving us. For sure. I mean, it even affected my interest and hype in this movie. As we were going into this film, I truly, genuinely thought like a lot of the hype was just marketing and that it was going to end up being not that good. Especially because after the first like social media reactions dropped, I did see from a number of like actual respected critics that didn't love the film. Not everyone loves this movie, and as I'm going to go over it in my review, there are some issues with it, but generally like most people like it. But I did see some like top critics have like negative things to say about it. So I was like, oh no, here we go again. How many times have we been here where like you see on social media a movie gets like rave reviews out of the gate and then like the Rotten Tomato scores drop and it's like in the 70s or 60s. That happens a lot recently, especially with like franchise films. So I thought Thunderbolts was going to be one of those, especially seeing the stuff that was coming down on my timeline. So that's why I really thought that this was going to be like another one of those, all the hype was just marketing and it wasn't actually good. So that's why I'm actually genuinely surprised and actually happy that, no, the movie is actually pretty decent. It's not my favorite Marvel movie. It's not my favorite Marvel movie even in the 2020s. But it's actually watchable and it's good. So it's fine. Aisha says, I'm not really interested in Marvel anymore. Yeah. Oh, Final Boy, you changed your name. Okay. So this used to be Evil Connor. Nice. I love that you're really taking your channel seriously. That's cool. But anyway, let's keep going. What else? So yes, as I said, even though this movie, most people seem to like it, and the opening was a little better than I expected, it's not like a guarantee it's going to be profitable. So that's why I'm wondering if that's why we're getting all these like comments from Kevin or about Kevin talking about how like Marvel is kind of struggling behind the scenes. So apparently Kevin Feige recently told his Marvel Studios colleagues that watching every new Marvel TV show and film has started to feel more like homework than entertainment. Hello, where have you guys heard that before? I've only said that like a million times. They are now moving to only 1 or 2 live action shows per year. Which, okay, maybe I have a controversial opinion about this one, but I actually think they should stop the shows altogether. I think that the shows, I'm going to assume when I watch a show, or if you're going to make a show about a character, that that character is not that important. Because if that character was actually important, you would put them in a movie in a theater. So it kind of devalues every character that does get a Disney Plus show. And their track record with making Disney Plus shows is terrible. Like, I've liked WandaVision and Agatha, some of Loki, and like, that's it. Like, I think they've made much more terrible TV content than they've made good TV content. So I'm just like, at this point, I don't even think they need to scale back to 1 or 2 shows a year. I think they need to just stop making shows, period. What I would use Disney Plus for is like maybe more behind the scenes content on like how they made these movies, or I think I said this a while ago, like maybe over a year ago on my stream, but I have this idea actually that more streaming services need to utilize user-generated content because UGC does so well with engagement and watch time. UGC is user-generated content. Think of YouTube. Think of TikTok. YouTube is still, by the way, the most watched app by far. It's actually more popular than TikTok, believe it or not, because I know a lot of people think that TikTok killed YouTube, but that's actually not true. YouTube is still more popular than TikTok. Even though both are UGC, I'm just trying to make a point. Like, a lot of this is, I'm trying to grasp my thoughts of how I want to word this. I have this idea that I think that because a lot of people are watching just stuff that you and I make, like user-generated content is so popular right now. Even Netflix, the heads at Netflix said that they're not competing with the likes of Disney Plus, they're competing with the likes of YouTube. I think that it would actually make a lot of sense if more streaming services utilized that and had like their famous actors or whatever, like create their own content. Like imagine if for Doomsday, or let's say Thunderbolts since that just came out. What if Disney had like the cast of Thunderbolts vlog their experience making the movie and they turn that into like a vlog series on Disney Plus? I actually think a good amount of fans would watch that. And I'm not talking about some glossy, overproduced thing. 'Cause I know they do have like a behind the scenes like documentary thing that Marvel does. But I'm talking about like a low production, kind of low budget, like just hand the cast some cameras and let them film themselves, making something. I honestly think not only would fans watch that, but I think it would make whatever's in theaters more popular because we would like get more attached to the cast and like we would want to know like how things turned out. And I think this is just kind of the kind of content that does really well on streaming. This kind of like low budget, get ready with me. Let me show you behind the scenes of how we do this. I just think that Marvel needs to move towards that kind of content. It would be extremely cheap for them to make. Way less expensive than these like TV shows that are costing hundreds of millions of dollars. And I think it would actually get a lot of viewership. Daredevil cost a ton of money. They basically shot it twice, and that show was watched by no one. I mean, I think it would have made a lot more sense and probably saved them a ton of money if they just did my idea. I mean, would you guys want to watch that? Would you watch like vlog content behind the scenes from your favorite stars from Marvel or Star Wars or whatever? Like, would you guys actually watch that? Arvin says Fury was an important character. They put him in Secret Invasion. Exactly. Why would you put Fury, who was, I think before Secret Invasion ruined him, was like one of the most important characters in the MCU? Why would you Disney Plus him? You know what I mean? Like I feel like, again, if whenever Marvel announces a Disney Plus show for a character, my first thought is, oh, this character must not be that important. You know? Like, I think we gotta stop these shows altogether, to be honest. Okay, some of you like the idea. Okay, that's good. Du Bois says, although I agree with your concept on actors vlogging the BTS aspects, I don't think Disney Plus is the place to do it. If it were me, I'd have that go on places like YouTube or TikTok, not on a streaming site. I understand putting that on YouTube, and I think that also would help, but the reason why I'm saying on Disney Plus is because Disney Plus is competing with YouTube. If Disney doesn't want to help YouTube get even bigger and they want to like grow their own platform, they should start posting some of that stuff on Disney Plus. I really feel like that would get people like to actually watch their stuff. Ethan says, if Disney Plus ever does user-generated content, Disney should make giving you your own show their top priority. Oh, that's sweet. Are you talking about me? Oh, I don't think so. Arvin says, imagine watching Jonathan Majors. Stop. Y'all will never forget this. Imagine watching Jonathan Majors vlogging that child fight with the laptop. Yeah. Evil Connor, I know that was your favorite thing. Yeah, imagine. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that would be really funny. I just think that they need to, like, I don't know. I saw, I think it was an article or something a little while ago that said that David Zaslav, he comes from Discovery, and Discovery is full of a lot of reality content. And he basically is kind of saying what I'm saying now, is that, like, people kind of prefer to watch the reality stuff over the scripted stuff nowadays. And the reality stuff is cheaper, so that's why he wants to move in that direction. And I know this is like blasphemy from a lot of, people in Hollywood, but from a business perspective, I don't think that's like a terrible idea. I don't. But yeah. Anyway, you guys keep bringing up the Jonathan Majors thing. That will always go down in history for me in this channel. That was too funny. Too funny. But anyway, so yes, Kevin Feige wants future Marvel Studios projects to not require previous audience knowledge, which is interesting because on one hand, I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't require too much homework for your cast or your audience, I mean. But on the other hand, for the actual diehard loyal Marvel fans, isn't that kind of what fans like? They like seeing it connect. They like seeing how things pay off. So, in an effort to maybe try to win back the casuals, they might lose super fans doing this. So it's kind of a catch-22. So I don't envy Marvel. They've definitely have pinned themselves into a corner here. But I don't know if this will entirely work for them, but we'll see. Apparently Kevin was also spread too thin at Marvel in the early 2020s. Apparently creatives wouldn't hear from him and they spent weeks working on things only to get feedback that was too late. Apparently some staffers had to resort to chasing him down in the hallway for answers. This all rings true to what basically a lot of the reports were saying back then. There were lots of rumors that Kevin Feige was spread too thin, so this just kind of backs that up. And honestly, you can see it in the product too. The movies got a lot worse. The TV shows got a lot worse. So you can just see that he wasn't, working at the same caliber that he used to. And it's probably because he was spread too thin. Honestly, I kind of feel like Kevin in general, and I know this is probably blasphemy for Marvel fans, but I think maybe Kevin needs a partner. Or someone else. I know there's that Esposito guy or whatever. But I feel like he needs someone else to really take on a lot of the work too. I just think that kind of with Bob Iger, where I feel like Bob Iger was definitely the CEO that Disney needed in the 2010s. I think Kevin was definitely the leader Marvel needed to get us through the Infinity Saga. I don't know if he's the right person now to lead us into Marvel's next era. I think that he has gone through too much, and I think he has like a very set way on how he thinks these movies should be made. And I think we need someone with a fresh perspective and fresh ideas at this point. And I'm not saying this to like be mean on Kevin, because like he's done a lot. He's made a lot of movies that I love. But I think at this point, like with Bob Iger, it's just time to move on to someone new so we can get some like new fresh talent. And I think it's time for Kevin to move on. That's my opinion. I know some of you may disagree. But what are your thoughts on this? Oh, Naomi says you should replace him. Yeah, I think maybe we should replace him. Sorry, Kevin. Ronnie says he needs someone or he's getting fired. Yeah, I don't know how much longer Kevin can like consistently put out flops and keep his job. I know he has a lot of like credibility and like hits under his belt, obviously. But like he's on a pretty bad losing streak at the moment. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how Fantastic Four does. Yeah, he's not doing the Star Wars film anymore. I see a couple of you mentioning it. Apparently he's not doing that anymore, which I think is probably good, because he has enough on his plate as it is. Du Bois says, because I don't have the space to write all I have to say, I'm going to just say that I have mixed opinions on that. Wait, which one? On Kevin? Anyway, let's get to my Thunderbolts review. That was kind of just some of the news I wanted to go over right now. So let's just get to the review. So, Thunderbolts. What did I think of Thunderbolts? I will say, I liked it. I didn't love it. It's not like, I would say Guardians 3. It's still my favorite Marvel movie post Endgame, by far. It's not like that level good, but it is good. It is good. I would put this on par with like maybe the first Black Widow, which I kind of liked, maybe more than most, but it's not like an amazing film that I feel like I have to go see again. But it's also a watchable good film with actually a good script. So, like, maybe, I don't know. I almost feel like because my expectations were so low, like rock bottom low, that might be influencing my opinion here a bit. But it is good. It is good. So let me just go over, like, what I liked about it, what I didn't, just everything. So, I'm going to start with what I really liked first. And the first thing that I liked about this movie is that it made having powers seem cool again. Like, it made, like, the idea of being a superhero or even just being superhuman, like, really cool again. And I forgot how that felt to be awed by someone's powers before. Or, like, even having the other characters be awed by another character's powers. Like, for so long now, Marvel has, like, almost, like, played off a lot of stuff as not a big deal, which is, like, one of my least favorite storytelling faux pas. Like, something that Marvel's been doing a lot with a lot of their movies and a lot of their shows is that they, like, downplay when something really cool happens. Or, like, if a character goes through something really crazy, they just kind of, like, brush it off and keep going, and I hate that. Oh, I hate that so much. One thing I really, really loved about this movie is that they didn't do that. Sentry, who's my favorite character in this movie, he gets some really cool scenes, and the characters react to that. They're actually, like, in awe. They're like, how did he do that? Oh, that was so cool. What is this? Like, I know that just seems like very, like, bare minimum stuff, but it worked on me. Like, having that moment of, like, oh, he can do that? Oh, like, I love that. That kind of stuff is what made me fall in love with superhero films to begin with. This reminded me of one of my favorite scenes from a superhero film from X-Men First Class, which I love X-Men First Class. It's one of my favorite superhero films generally. Or actually one of my favorite movies, superhero film or not. I love it that much. But if you guys have seen this movie, you know there's a scene where Michael Fassbender as Magneto, he like tries to like pull up a submarine or whatever, and he like uses his powers to try to pull the submarine up from the water, and it's a really really cool scene. It's like one of my favorite scenes in any superhero movies. And there was a scene in Thunderbolts where we get to see Sentry's powers and everything that he can do, that I started to get that feeling again of like, oh, that's actually really cool. Like, I felt awe. I haven't felt awe in a Marvel movie in many years. Like years. Because you guys know I didn't like Deadpool and Wolverine. I didn't like I honestly just have not liked most of the crap that they've been putting out. So, like, the fact that I felt awe again, I was like, oh, they can still make me feel this. Oh, this is nice. Like, characters go through something crazy and they react to it like, oh, crap, I just went through something crazy. Like, something I genuinely really liked about this, like, the whole, like, ensemble, really, or every character, is that they all felt like real people. They all reacted like how real people would react to things if like they were going through these like harrowing experiences. They just felt like real people that you could connect with. And that's something else that I felt like Marvel hasn't been doing a lot of lately. Like, the reason why I've always like been more partial towards Marvel stories over DC stories is because DC, or at least how like Snyder was doing it, DC really likes to take their superhero characters and like turn them into gods and like have everyone revere them. Whereas Marvel likes to make them more human, make them more relatable. And I've always like been more interested in the more human, relatable characters than like the god characters. So that I think that's also partly why I liked this, is because they were all so human, so relatable, so just like deeply like flawed, but also like kind of funny and interesting. Like, they're just actually memorable characters. And there's even a scene where they all have to like climb up the chute, where they all have to like, have you guys seen Emperor's New Groove? Where there's the scene in Emperor's New Groove where like Cusco and Kronk have to like climb up the side of the mountain with their backs to each other. They do that in this movie, and I loved it. Oh, I loved it. Because it was like, oh wait, this is a memorable scene, and we're getting to know more about the characters. Like, the movie is actually like very character driven, which I love. I'm much more of a character driven person than like a plot driven person. Um, so I loved that. I was like, this is great. This is the kind of stuff that I want to see more of. Because a lot of times in recent Marvel movies, like, they'll introduce new characters, and I'm like, I don't care about these characters at all. These aren't new characters, but they're kind of fresh. I mean, Ghost, we haven't seen her in years, and she was only in one thing. And I just felt like I actually kind of got to know these characters a bit, which is nice, because I haven't been able to say that with a lot of new characters. I mean, even with the Disney Plus shows, when you've got like several episodes to tell a story, like with Secret Invasion, for example, Gaia, we don't know anything about Gaia, and we got several episodes with her. I know more about freaking Ghost now than I do about Gaia. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like I liked that they made the characters actually interesting and memorable, because that's just not something that every Marvel film has been doing lately. Um, but I'm gonna pause here for a second just to get some of your thoughts. What are your thoughts and opinions on Thunderbolts, or anything that I've said so far? Um, yeah, I love Emperor's New Groove. New Groove. I love it a lot. I'm gonna get to Florence and Sebastian a bit. I will say there isn't a lot of Sebastian Stan in this. My friend who I was telling about the movie, she only really knows Bucky, and she likes Bucky, and I was like, well, I honestly, I cannot recommend this movie if the only reason you want to see it is for Bucky, because he's really not in it that much, and he's not really like a main character. He's like just a side character. So if you're only going to see this for Bucky alone, I probably wouldn't see this movie. But yeah. Astronomy says you really missed the superhero aspect as well. I do too. Um, Loved Bob. Yes, Bob is great. Anyway, getting back to my review. So, let's talk about some of the individual characters. Yelena. I liked Yelena. I probably liked her more in this than anything else I've seen her in. Don't shoot the messenger. But I'm still not like totally. I don't know what it is. I'm just not clicking with Yelena as a character. I thought the other characters in the Thunderbolts group were more interesting than her. Like I thought, honestly, I thought other than Sentry, who was my favorite character in the movie, I kind of really liked the Captain America, the fake Captain America that was in there. Like he was my favorite character in Winter Soldier, Captain America, or was it Captain America Winter Soldier? The TV show that I'm talking about. I liked him in that TV show. He's my favorite character in that. And he became one of my favorite characters in this movie again. I really liked his backstory. I like that they gave him like more backstory with his family and how he has guilt over that. I don't know why. I just thought that was really interesting. I thought the actor was really charming too. I just really liked him as a character. I thought that Red Guardian was fun. He was funny. I really like David Harbour. Honestly, I thought Ghost was more interesting in this movie than she was in the actual like Ant-Man movie that she started in. I thought the entire cast was really well put together, and I like the Thunderbolts. I like this team. I don't know why I'm just not like in love with Yelena. She's okay. But I'm thinking about all the other female characters in the MCU that I love, like Wanda or like Nebula or Gamora or Shuri, and I'm like, I don't love her nearly as much as those characters. So I think I still need to like grow with her, but I don't hate her. I'm just kind of like neutral towards Yelena at this point. But I do like the Thunderbolts in general. Um Overall, yeah, I would say like as I kind of already alluded to, I would only truly, as much as I liked the movie, I would only really recommend it if A, there's still a part of you that is at least a little bit interested in Marvel still and like cares about this universe. I think if you're like totally done with Marvel, totally done with superheroes, I don't think there's like something in here that's going to suddenly change your mind. Um, or like I said, if you really like Bucky, because I know like he's the most known character here, he's really not in it that much. So like if either of those two things apply to you, I probably wouldn't see this movie because you're probably not gonna like it. But if there's a part of you that still like kind of likes Marvel and superheroes and like it gets excited when you see like people do like cool superpower stuff, like I do, you'll probably get something out of this. There's also a lot of mental health talk in this, which I found to be really interesting. I liked how they did it in particular, especially with Sentry. I loved how they intertwined mental health with Sentry's powers. I thought that was so cool, so beautifully done. So like I love the metaphor of it. Um I and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, like they basically, so this character, he can like I guess he kind of turns people into a shadow and like puts them in like the shadow realm or whatever. Um, but they use the shadows as like a metaphor for his depression. So like this character is like deeply like depressed and like is going like through all this trauma and whatever. And like the more depressed he feels, the more like his powers take over and like the shadows like take over the city. And like I just thought the metaphor was really well done, really well handled. I loved that aspect. Again, it's part of what made Sentry such a cool character for me. I really hope we see more of Sentry. Like I would be pissed if like we don't see this guy again for like 5 years. I mean, think about how Marvel's been going, how like they're taking so long to get to like seeing your favorite characters again. I hope that they don't do this again. I hope we see Sentry and Doomsday and Secret Wars. I hope this is not like another Namor situation where it's like, oh, you like this character, too bad, you're not going to see them again for several years. I hope they don't do that, but I'm really worried that they're going to do that. So that would suck. And I don't want to see a Disney Plus show because I do think Disney Plus just makes these characters cheap. So I would like to see him in like a good movie, like maybe Sentry as like the main villain or something. I don't know, but he is part of the new Avengers, so I guess maybe he is. Wait, he is in the new. Yeah, I think he is already confirmed to be in the new Avengers movies, right? So I hope he has a really big role in them. I hope he does. But yeah, overall, I would say like it's a good watch. I do think it's a little slow in places. There's not a ton of action in it. That's maybe another critique of mine. Um, it's not like it didn't. I don't know, like Guardians 3 like blew me away. Like I was in tears. I loved that movie. I can't say that I like love this movie, but I did really like it and I watched it and I thought it was watchable, which is more than I can say for a lot of Marvel stuff recently. So for that reason, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. It's still fresh in my mind. It's a good movie. I would recommend it if you are a Marvel fan. But like it's not the best Marvel movie or like, you know, I even top 10, but like it's definitely not the bottom 10, that's for sure. I know that doesn't sound like a ringing endorsement, but I do think it's a good movie. If you like Marvel, if you like superheroes, I think you'll get something out of it. Yeah, and that's my review of Thunderbolts. So yes, what are your thoughts on this movie for those who have seen it? I would love a Sentry solo film. I think that would be cool. Um, yes, I see I did forget that he's already confirmed for Doomsday, so that's good. At least we will see him again soon. Vincent says they could have easily named the movie Sentry, honestly. Well, he's actually not. You only see the Sentry himself for like a small part of the movie. So I can see why he wasn't a bigger part of the marketing. Same with the with Bucky. I was on my channel talking about how I didn't understand why they weren't like leading more with Bucky as the lead. But it's because he's not. It's clearly Yelena's story. Rodney says anything over No Way Home is good enough for me. Oh, I forgot No Way Home. Sorry, but no, I like No Way Home more. I forgot No Way Home. I was thinking of only like Disney Marvel, but no, I'm sorry. I'm too big of a Spidey fan. No Way Home was like Endgame Part 2 for me. No Way Home was huge for me. I was nerding out over that hard. So sorry, no. It for me, post Endgame is like Guardians 3 is number 1. Number 2, No Way Home. And then number 3, I put Thunderbolts. For me, that's my top 3 post Endgame. Oh yeah, the post credit scenes. Well, really, they just set up that the Thunderbolts are the new Avengers. I kind of already said it, but yes, they are the new Avengers, which is cool. Apparently, the Russos directed the end credit sequences, which is actually very promising because I thought they were well directed. So, fingers crossed that they're actually like on their A game this time. So yeah, the end credit sequences were really cool. I like that they're the new the new Avengers. Actually, I like that it's like a bunch of ragtag team of like people that shouldn't like be there. Plus Sentry. Because I think without Sentry, they would be too low power for an Avengers team. But I think with Sentry, they make a really good team. Cheetah Viper says, I have Disney Plus. Is Black Widow solo movie worth a watch? I think so. I liked the Black Widow solo movie, I think, more than most people did. I liked it. I mean, it has some issues, particularly towards the end. I think the third act is the worst part. But I thought the first 2 acts were, like, pretty strong, actually. And I thought the opening was one of my favorite openings in a Marvel movie. But, yeah. Some people didn't like that movie. So, really, you're just going to have to, like, watch it and see for yourself. Yes, it also did tease Fantastic Four, which, I mean, it was a very tiny tease. Basically, at the very end of the end credit sequence, they, like, see the Fantastic Four ship. Yeah, I'm really curious to see how Fantastic Four does. I feel like there's not as much interest there as there should be. So we'll see how that goes. I hope it does at least better than Thunderbolts. If it does worse than Thunderbolts, that would be really bad. Yes. Any other questions? Because that's basically the end of my review. Any other questions about Thunderbolts? And then that'll be it for today. Cassiopeia says, I loved it even more than Deadpool. Favorite MCU movie in a minute. The characters, the themes, the music, and even the satirical magazine credits. Well, I'm glad you really loved it. I'm glad. How I know I didn't love it versus like it is that I'm not, like, rushing out to go see it again. Like, I saw Guardians, I think, at least twice in theaters. Like, I know I really love a movie when I want to go see it more than once. And I don't feel that way about Thunderbolts. Um, Heza says it's cool that Florence did her own stunts. Yeah, that is cool. There was a video of Florence jumping off the building that she does at the very beginning of the movie. That was cool. I thought that was cool. Um, if you guys ever want to like understand where my taste comes from, at least with superheroes, Spider-Man is the character that got me into superheroes. Yes, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, obviously, like with a lot of other kids who were my age at the time, like it was a formative moment, okay? I was I had like the did you guys ever get like the little spidey things that you could like press in your hand and it would like silly string would fly out? I had that, man. That was like my favorite toy as a kid. I was doing this all around my apartment. Um yeah, it's because of Toby that I even like superhero movies. So like when I say No Way Home was a big deal for me, it was a big deal for me. Oh, you want to see it 5 times? Well, I'm glad you really like it that much. The movie needs the help, so. Rodney says the trailers they played for Thunderbolts, while some I fell asleep to, like How to Train Your Dragon, F1, Mission Impossible, The Tron, and Predator. Yeah, I think I got all of those same trailers in my screening as well. Um, F1 doesn't look that interesting to me, but I don't really care for like race car movies, so I don't know. I just don't think I'm in the target audience for that film. Also, I don't like Brad Pitt anymore. Um, and Tron has literally never been a hit. They're only making a Tron movie because they just made it a Tron ride in Magic Kingdom. But like literally the past two Tron movies flopped, so I think the third one's probably also gonna flop. Predator actually looks pretty good. I saw the trailer. I thought that looked pretty good. Mission Impossible, you guys know I'm really excited for. And How to Train Your Dragon is extremely popular. I think the trailer only looks okay, like so-so, but the property is extremely popular. Like I know a lot of people who love How to Train Your Dragon, so I think How to Train Your Dragon will do well just because it has a big fan base. Like Minecraft. I don't think, to be fair, I haven't seen Minecraft the movie, but I kind of knew Minecraft would do well regardless just because there's a lot of Minecraft fans. That's how I feel about How to Train Your Dragon. I think it's going to do well just because there are a lot of fans. Oh, X-Men was your gateway into superheroes? That's cool. Um, Aisha says, why do you not like Brad Pitt anymore? I just don't understand how you can like someone who like their own kids disown them. Like I don't there's a lot of shitty stories about Brad out there. I'm sick of Hollywood always making excuses for abusers and protecting them, but then like getting upset over the dumbest stuff. So people like Brad, I'm just like I don't feel like I need to support you cuz Hollywood's going to do that enough. Queen Bee says How to Train Your Dragon will do great. Yeah. I mean, have you guys seen the new How to Train Your Dragon Land in Epic Universe? That's very, very popular, actually. I think that the movie's going to do very well. Um, I'll take like one or two more questions and then that'll be it for today. I know this is kind of a short stream, but again, I was looking through the news and I was like, it's very slow right now. There's like not really much happening. Oh yeah, The Rock. The Rock is trying to get an Oscar. I forgot about that. Yes, I did see that trailer. I've been telling you guys that The Rock is trying to be taken seriously as an actor now. We'll see if it works. I mean, the movie looks so freaking good, and his transformation looks so good that I'm thinking maybe it might work. So who knows? I think honestly, a nomination would be enough. A nomination is as good of a win for him. I don't see it happening, but if he did get a nomination, that would be huge. But anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for everyone coming to my channel, especially such last minute. This was a nice discussion. Again, I would recommend Thunderbolts if you're still like kind of a Marvel fan. I think it's a good Marvel movie. But if you're totally over these films, you're probably not gonna like have your mind change. So that's kind of how I would assess that for you. But I do think it's a good movie overall. So yeah, that was my review. Thank you all for coming. I will talk to you guys next week. Hopefully there's a lot more news to go over. And yeah, that's it. See you guys. Bye.